Welcome back, True Seeker. Friday, March 1st, 2024. Big story today, the snowstorm impacting Northern California. They're reporting that today and tomorrow, Friday and Saturday, that region will experience 3 to 5 inches of snow per hour. That's a ton of snow. Now notice the headline. Blockbuster Blizzard is slamming California. Think about where we associate the term blockbuster with. Once upon a time, it was the video movie rental chain, but blockbuster is terminology that goes with Hollywood, a big film, a big story. And typically, Hollywood releases their movies on Friday, and the biggest movie days are Friday and Saturday, just like how this storm is impacting California, where Hollywood is on a Friday and Saturday. And before we go any further with this, again, you must know history of weather control. The first act of weather warfare was admitted to in August. The date was August 15th of 1952. That is the Jesuit order's birthday. Of course, the current governor of California is the Jesuit Gavin Newsom. But August 15th, 1952, it was admitted to by the Royal Air Force. About a decade later, the U.S. admitted to using weather warfare against the Vietnamese in Vietnam. And around that same time, JFK gave his speech in 1961, if you want to look it up. September 25th, 1961 is the date. JFK spoke about the future of weather control. And he talked about how the emerging technology would allow us to control weather and ensure places don't experience drought. Now, of course, California's had a lot of extreme weather events in recent times. And let's not forget Hurricane Hillary, which wasn't as bad as they said it was going to be. It did impact some parts, but remember that happened on Bill Clinton's birthday. Hurricane Hillary, when it impacted California. It was August 19th, Bill Clinton's birthday. And again, with regards to the Jesuits, both Bill and Hillary are Jesuit educated as well, like Gavin Newsom. Now look at how perfect this ritual is once you become aware of what's really going on in the world. 12 feet of snow, right? Remember, the number 144 has a square root of 12, and those numbers have a lot to do with time. From Gavin Newsom's 56th birthday, October 10th, to today, Friday, is his 144th day of his age. And tomorrow, March 2nd, will be 144 days after his birthday. So both days have the 144 connection. And again, in Gematria, Jesuit order equates to 144. JFK, who was assassinated, his last meeting with the Pope, 144 days from his assassination. His brother reported dead at 1:44 a.m. Lincoln, who blamed the Civil War on the Jesuits, shot on 14/4. Donald Trump, who's also Jesuit educated, posing with the first ever Jesuit Pope, Pope Francis, at the Vatican on the 144th day of the year, and so on and so forth. If you're new here, we talk about the Jesuits and 144 all the time. So you just got to say, what are the odds? Again, the first act of weather warfare admitted to on August 15th, which is the day in history the Jesuits were created in Paris, France. And when you think of climate change and climate accords, do you not think of Paris, France, the home of the Jesuits? Again, look up these dates in history. August 15th, 52, first act of weather warfare. August 15th, 1534, the day the Jesuit order was created in history. And again, they're a military order, and the Jesuits are sophisticated. And they're technologically advanced. And we're on a calendar that they created. And we're speaking a language that they're responsible for. Again, the Jesuits are responsible for the 26-letter English alphabet, which was standardized at the same time the calendar came out. And with regards to the calendar, we're on a 52-week calendar named after the Pope. The word Pope is 52, but so is Earth, so is Enlil, and so is Flood. And if you don't know who Enlil is, he's the Babylonian god of storms. California also has the Gematria 52. If you're new here, Gematria is very simple. It's the alphabetic order. A is 1 up to Z is 26. That's how Jesuit order adds up to 144. It's how Flood and Enlil and Earth all equal 52 like Pope. If you take the alphabetic order and apply numerology, California equals 52. And again, we've seen a lot of weather events with California in recent times. And again, think about it from a political standpoint. California has a very liberal population. They're trying to get people to really believe in this climate change thing. And I'm not saying we haven't trashed the earth and we shouldn't take better care of it. I'm not from that camp. I think we should take a lot better care of the earth. Again, you just have to understand, we live in a world where there's technology to manipulate weather, and it's very obvious if your eyes are open what's going on in the skies above day after day. You have to be blind not to see it. Again, a lot of what we're seeing in the world that's being blamed on climate change is really the Jesuit Agenda 21 and 2030. And we're all experiencing it, right? Because whether you've been impacted by one of these storms so far or not, your insurance rates have skyrocketed, and the insurance companies are saying they're having to do it because of all the climate disasters. Well, when we realize the climate disasters are part of an agenda being rolled out by a code, again, this is why people need to wake up. Right now, there's a guy who lives in Northern California who's being impacted by this storm. And this morning, he's, calling me a fraud and a shill, and he's gloating that he's registered Wake the Fuck Up Radio on all these platforms, so I can't do it. And I'm annoyed because I'm like, oh, God, this could be a problem. And he's just doing it just to be an asshole. And it's like, dude, you're literally getting impacted by weather warfare right now. You're calling my work a fraud when I've educated about the same things for a decade. And you're trying, on this day, instead of helping share the knowledge, on a day where you're literally being impacted by it, you're spending your day indoors trying to sabotage the new radio program I plan to put in place. Again, this is what's wrong with the world, you guys. And all I ever did to that person was help promote them and get them more subs. That's it. Anyway. Gavin Newsom, the Jesuit governor. Go figure that his name is 52 as well, right? And this isn't the first time they've synced weather warfare with Gavin Newsom. We've talked about it before. Gavin Newsom, you run it the other way, it's 56. Like climate change, like the real name of the cooties virus, where he told California 56% would get it in 8 weeks, which is 56 days. And again, 2020, when all that went down, was 56 years after Trump's Jesuit education began at Fordham. Anthony Fauci, also in the club. He went to Holy Cross, another Jesuit school. Anthony Fauci, 56, like Washington, D.C., the Jesuit stronghold. Again, this 56 number goes all the way back to the 56 signers on the Declaration of Independence, when this nation was founded by Masons and Jesuits in the time of the Jesuit suppression. But Paris, France, their home, 56. Of course, their founder, the Jesuit founder, Ignatius of Loyola, died in 1556. The formal title of the Jesuit Society of Jesus, 56. Again, this storm, and again, going to impact Northern California. Imagine all the Bay Area liberals, going nuts right now. Oh my God, I can't believe that other political party doesn't recognize climate change. I mean, it's almost springtime and this is happening. That's exactly why they're doing it. And it's not Mother Nature. It's what's been admitted to for the better part of the last century. It's what we've been educating about for a long time. Again, go back a few years. We circled all the hurricane dates, because by the way, the word hurricane equals 52 as well. We circled all the 52 date numerology before hurricane season got underway. You can go back and watch what happened. A hurricane made landfall on every single date with 52 numerology except for one, and on the one day it didn't hit. It was late in the season. It's usually when the hurricane season's at the tail end, but a hurricane formed that day. It would have also been one of the least likely days that we circled for there to be a hurricane making landfall. But again, this stuff's not an accident. It's ritual, technology to influence the weather. And then here's the clincher. From August 15th, the Jesuit order's birthday, the anniversary of the first act of admitted weather warfare, to March 2nd, which is tomorrow, the second day of the storm, what they're saying could be the worst day of the storm, exactly a span of 201 days. Remember when Yellowstone got wiped out the other year? Right next to where Bill Gates, Mr. 201 himself, is putting his experimental reactor. That was June 13th, the day leaving 201 days left in the year. But go back and look at the terminology that JFK used in 1961. Today is the 61st day of the year because it's leap year, but it was September 25th, 61, that JFK gave a speech about weather control. And notice how weather control is the exact same as the Jesuit order in 3 out of the 4 ciphers. Where it differs, the 84 and 75. For the record, Catholic Church is 75. Today's 75 days after the first Jesuit Pope's birthday. Pope Francis, the first to live in Suite 201 at the Vatican, whose birth name, Jorge Mario Bergoglio, equals 201. Just like the founder of the Jesuits, Ignatius of Loyola, equals 201 and 75. But again, just the same numbers over and over, the same patterns, the same things explained. And Just totally crazy, extreme weather. People's property will probably be destroyed. Some wealthier person will probably come in and get it for pennies on the dollar. And again, like all things, it's a dual-edged sword. With the extreme rain that California got in recent years, it said it fixed their drought problem, right? Just like how JFK said back in 61, we won't have to experience drought anymore. What JFK was talking about, though, is like just bringing moisture to the region, not destroying the region at once to also bring moisture. That's the way the psychopaths work. Again, it's like there's a machine, right? It's like you have an oven. You can bake the food and have a nice, delicious meal, or you can turn it all the way up to 500 degrees and ruin your food. That's what these people are doing with the machine. Trying to cook, instead of at 350 where it's supposed to be, they're trying to cook everything at 500. And it doesn't have to be that way. It's to cement the point about things need to be done. Mother Nature's out of control because we've abused it. And, we have abused Mother Nature. Don't get it twisted. But these psychopaths, these are the same psychopaths that went into LA once upon a time and tore out the electric rail and made it sprawling suburbs so that their new automobiles at the time could make a ton of money for them. They're the same people that caused the mess. Now they want to create the excuses to clean it up and create new carbon tax credit systems. Just all things that put money in their pockets. Keep us poor and more under their thumb. So yeah, for the turd in Northern California right now who's experiencing the storm and is spending his days inside trying to ruin the radio program I'm planning to put together and calling me a fraud and a shill and literally on the record saying he likes Gavin Newsom. Again, if you're a serious individual, maybe go outside and stand in the storm and see if you can take 12 hours of it. See if you don't turn into a popsicle. You'd be doing the world a favor. So yeah, we'll leave it there for now, Truth Seeker. Again, anyone who says this work is a fraud is either brain dead or the fraud themselves. Point blank, period. Till next time, Truth Seeker.